Dearly beloved, and those making out in the back, we can see you, and most importantly, we can hear you. Kiss with your mouth closed. We're trying to concentrate. Life is annoying. It's loud and it's mean. It forgets you're there sometimes, and in the end, it's never long enough to do the story justice. Luckily, you humans created a home, a darkened sanctuary, to honor the experience with peaceful attention and crunchy snacks. The movies. In the halls of heroes, creating these moments of magic for the casual to expert viewer, a name comes up in rumination. Spielberg, Tarantino, Wes Anderson. There's that one time Joel Schumacher put nipples on Batman. But in all of modern film, there was one who opened the door to the independent trials and errors of movie, made for the first-time artist, creating the world, the legends, the Hollywood system we know today. And that man, the Pope of pop cinema, the king of cult, was Roger Corman. If that name rings a bell, it means you know the meaning of getting an awkward look, a head shake from an adult, a head cock and glance, because you're just so weird. To all those who know the feeling of being on the outside, Roger Corman gave you a place to feel seen. But he was none for luxuriating, ruminating, or contemplating, because he had a deadline to come in under and no money to fucking do it. So in honor of that, we're going to get this eulogy in under time and under budget. Roger William Corman was born in 1926 in Detroit, Michigan, moved to California, joined the Navy, got an engineering degree. Guy was basically a character written by David Lynch. Then, in his fourth day as an engineer, he realized he, quote, made a big mistake, and there goes the theremin. He starts in the mailroom, 1948, at 20th Century Fox, becomes a story reader, secretly learning what was hot in Hollywood like it was intelligence. And he was a spy in a World War II movie. Speaking of World War II, by the way, he did 2 years of service in the Navy. And because of that, he was able to study literature of U of Oxford and lived in France for a bit, mostly because of the GI Bill, which is not Joe's dollar store brother fighting Cobra on the local level. But that is a joke for a bygone era, which wasn't even born yet. Hold on tight, we're going to the 50s. Fancy and Pantsy comes back to Hollywood, writes a movie called House in the Sea, which in 1954 becomes Highway Dragnet, because Dragnet was popular and Papa Roger knows a good thing when he sees it. Stars Joan Bennett, silent screen actor turned horror icon, mostly post this movie if you keep in score. And Roger Conte, who you film majors know as Don Barzini in The Godfather, and the rest of you forced to watch The Godfather with a film major would remember as the guy gets shot in front of the courthouse steps. Spoiler for the fucking Godfather, calm down. Shot it in 10 days, and it does okay. And he uses the money to finance his first film as a producer, Monsters from the Ocean Floor, in which Corman used a new electric-powered one-man submarine for free in exchange for the publicity, because Uncle Roger knows a good deal when he sees it. Next up, taking the money and running with it, Corman produces a movie with Dorothy Malone, ask your mom, who at the time had nowhere to go after her and her agent broke up, so Corman gives her a role in a movie that would cement his relationship with a new independent production company called American Releasing Pictures, which loved to make them B-movies for teens, because that meant money. In fact, they used the Arkoff method, named after the owner Samuel Arkoff, and it stood for Action, Revolution, Killing, Oratory, Fantasy, and Fornication, which became the blueprint for B-movies as we know it. Sidebar, making indie movies was more of a gamble than rolling craps blindfolded next to a hot mob wife drinking a gasoline cocktail with a stick of dynamite in those days. A24 was a long way away. Corman was starting his reign as king of the indies before it was cool. But Big Bad Corman knew a good method when he heard it. So, this movie ends up being called The Fast and the Furious. And before you ask, yes. In 2001, Universal... In 2001, Universal licensed the name when they couldn't figure out what to call their high-octane Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, will they, won't they, rom drama on wheels, and the producer went to his father for advice, and his father just so happened to be a former exec at American Releasing Co., which became AIP, but that's a different podcast, who finally remembered the Roger Corman film from '55, yada yada. Because of Roger Corman, 66 years later, Tyrese and Ludacris drove a car into space. You're welcome. And that is not even the beginning. Hold the fuck on, if you will indulge me a hyperfixation. Roger Corman then goes on to make 3 pictures with ARC. One of them was a Western called Apache Woman, and though that sounds like a Rip and Allman Brothers song, it actually marked the first screen appearance of Dick Miller, who you all know as the old man from Gremlins. But like, before he donned the drunken plaid motif, he was a goddamn movie star. And this was just the first of the legacies that Roger Corman would ordain. ARC becomes AIP, and Corman is their king. After a bunch of sci-fi B-movie classics forever adorning DVD collections and MST3K reaction tracks, in 1957, Corman makes his first big hit entitled, awesomely, Attack of the Crab Monsters, which nets Corman another 4-picture deal. In 1958, he makes Machine Gun Kelly, starring for the first time Charles Bronson. And then Teenage Caveman, which gave Robert Vaughn, the man from U.N.C.L.E., his first leading man role. And then Cry Baby Killer, which introduces the world to Jack Nicholson. In 1959, using the clothes from Teenage Caveman, Corman produces Crime and Punishment USA, giving George Hamilton his first leading role. Are we sensing a pattern? Good, you're taking notes. Now, it's 1960, and Corman starts Film Group, which is all about distributing his movies to drive-ins. So now he's got a studio backing him and a distribution company making sure you see his movies. Wielding his power like the Zeus of black and white B-movies for horny teens, he unleashes the beatnik horror murder comedy A Bucket of Blood in 1959. And in 1960, reused the cast and script structure, Corman produces and directs a little black and white horror comedy shot in 2 days and 1 night called The Little Shop of Horrors. And before you ask, yes. Then, Corman starts his Edgar Allan Poe movies, a lot of them with Jack Nicholson and Vincent Price, which gives William Shatner one of his earliest film appearances in The Intruder in 1962. So if you're watching Star Trek, you're welcome. He financed Francis Ford Coppola's directorial debut with Dementia 13 in 1963, and for a little bit had a contract with Columbia Pictures, but they didn't make his movies. Quote, every idea I submitted was too strange, too weird. Every idea they had seemed too ordinary to me. Ordinary pictures do not make money. So he goes back AIP, and in the indie world, they let him roll the way he likes. And in 1966, he makes a biker movie called Wild Angels with pre-Easy Rider, Peter Fonda, and Nancy Sinatra. And it kickstarts the biker movie genre, giving Dennis Hopper and Bruce Dern their starts. So like, fuck you, Hollywood. Don't make my movies, I'm gonna start a whole fucking genre instead. Then, 1968, he finances the first movie Peter Bogdanovich ever directed, Targets, which was the last American film Boris Karloff ever made. He directs Bloody Mama in 1970, which introduces the world of Robert De Niro. Then Corman starts New World Pictures, which gives Martin Scorsese his second big feature before Mean Streets, introduces the entire movie house stoner popcorn junkie world to Curtis Hanson, Jonathan Demme, Joe Dante, and Ron Howard. So without King Corman, we would not have 8 Mile, Silence of the Lambs, Gremlins, and Apollo 13. You're welcome. Speaking of space. In 1980, Corman produced a space movie called Battle Beyond the Stars because Star Wars is popular, and Corman knows a popular thing when he sees it. This movie would give a film crew grunt his first break in filmmaking, and that go-get-me coffee, go-getting grunt's name was James Cameron, who would direct Piranha 2, The Spawning for Roger Corman, which gave a young carpenter named Bill Paxton his first job in Hollywood. Amy Jo Holden went to go to Corman to see what she could do to become a director, and she was working on a little movie that she was hired to edit called E.T., which stalled because some guy named Steven was too busy producing a film called Poltergeist, and Corman gave her one of his unproduced scripts by then activist Rita Mae Brown, which she shot as a short on Joe Dante's equipment, not a euphemism. Showed it to Corman, and he convinced her to finish it, and because of that, we got Slumber Party Massacre in 1982. So without Captain King Colonel Corman, we would have never had Mystic Pizza. Are you tired yet? Good, me too. And time is short, and we're about at the end of the reel. Roger Corman, who directed 56 films, who produced 493 movies right up until the end of his time, always looking like he was related to Mr. Rogers, but he's the cool one that'll let you drive the motorcycle he arrived on, left this planet for whatever strange and unusual world is out there on May 9th, 2024 at 98 years old. When asked how he wants to be remembered, he said, I was a filmmaker, just that. But to a certain kind of human, he gave us space to be authentic. So, here's to you, the dreamy freaks, the hard-hitting nerds, the spacey geeks, the beautiful ones that get all the cock-headed looks, the misunderstood, the misremembered. To you who tinker, who experiment, who take a chance, and to all of you who make shiny treasures to share, wrapping them up in strange, weird, or anything but ordinary. Don't listen to them. Don't let them tell you how to be. Just be yourself, because that makes you a legend. And I'll see you at the movies.
That was absolutely beautiful recipe for Roger Corman. Ladies and gentlemen, Ted the Bird is here to be everyone.
Nailed it.